If you're ready, we're ready. Do you want me to give you a little time on the... All right, we're going to call this regular council meeting to order Monday, December 2nd, 2024, 5:01 p.m. And we'll request you to turn cell phones down, please, and a roll call.
Commissioner Edelman, Commissioner Ken Morse,
Here.
Commissioner Hedrington,
Here.
Commissioner Prentice,
Here.
and Mayor Fitzgerald.
Here, we ask you to turn your cell phone down. Okay, pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this wonderful day, and we just ask that you would give the council wisdom tonight as they discuss many of the issues for the future of the city. And we just thank you for your many blessings on the citizens and on this city in total. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, Don. Okay, we'll get approval agenda. Get a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? All right, 4-0. Public comment, same thing. Stan, give your name, 3 minutes. Yes, sir. Mr. Lloyd, go ahead.
My name is Josh Lloyd. Here to talk about the fire department again. So, let's just say 6 months ago, we were worse off than we are now. I'll concede that now because I don't have that information. However, the decision wasn't made 6 months ago. It was made well before December of last year, at least before December of last year. I did FOIA request what we took to calls and who went, and I won't say it was 3 every time, but the average was over 2.5 for the month that I checked. So basically, if we were in such bad shape that we had to do something, then what we did was we went out and got a maximum of 3, but only guaranteed 2. We're not even in a better position than we were at the time we were looking for it, according to our own statistics. I don't know what to say about it. And also, from looking at it this angle, in 5 years, you know what we have? 0. We have 0. And we are going to have to take the knee to any offer that we get because we have nothing. And now we've heard that there was a contract offer that would allow you to keep the people you had and contract in 3 more people exactly what you had for the same price. I don't find it acceptable that you would just blow that off as it's nothing. That's a pretty big deal. We got less, we have nothing for the future, and the citizens are concerned about it. And when the citizens are concerned about it, I don't think that you should be upset with them. I think that, you might want to come to a meeting where they're at, where they're putting on something, trying to put this together. But what I had originally asked is, I would like you to put it together. You put it together. Here's what we did. Here's the staffing we had. Here's the concerns that we had. And here's what we did to fix it and why we feel we're better off. Because, again, piecing this together, looking at the information that I'm getting, it doesn't appear that we're in better shape to me. And that's just me. I told you, I didn't know anything about the fire department until 2 months ago in either direction, what they used to do and what they're doing now. So that's the concern here. That's the concern the citizens have. We want to be better off now, but also 5 years from now. Thank you.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now on anything, for one thing. And I know I did go to the meetings, but on the first time we ever talked about this, everybody was concerned about response times. And every time I see something on Facebook about response times, and we took it so long to go up to the Legion and this and that, I'm not so sure everybody understands response time. The response time, I didn't understand it. So I started looking into it, and response time is the first 80 seconds, which are for they call it turnout time. And the 80 seconds is that for them to get their stuff together and get moving. And the next 240 seconds is the travel time. So it comes out to about 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And I was asking our deputy chief, and I asked our chief about how we're doing our response time. And our response times are very, very good. They're all better than the locals around us. And everybody is talking about, South Beloit is 6.2 square miles, which is, when you look into it, Rockton has one fire department, one building. We have one. We're 6.2 square miles. Rockton is 58 square miles. So what does it take them time to get from their front door to the farthest reach? And Roscoe has 80 square miles, got 3 fire departments. They're 3 buildings, and they have their employees spread around. And it's, how much does it take them? So and they got Roscoe has 35,000 residents, I believe, and that's in their fire district. Rockton, I believe, has 21 is the number. Yeah, I know we're concerned, and we listen to what everybody says. But when we make these decisions, you're right. We make the decisions. We sit down. We go study all our options of what we can do, and we did. And we probably talked about it long before a year ago. It might have been 3 years ago when we started this, trying to figure out how we could, what our future would be, instead of having nobody down there to answer these calls. And but we'll answer. And a couple other things that that people talk about. I'm not even going to get into. I was going to get into what I was on Facebook. They were talking about pot stores and this and that. But we're a poor community, so that's why we got them. No, the reason the pot stores are here is because location. It's location, location, location. When they want it, because they want it next to Wisconsin. And somebody said, I don't like people to talk. I don't care. Talk all they want. You get 3 minutes. If you want a little more, we give you a little more. We've never been that strong on it. And then this Angelo Eterno, and he goes and he says that we act like we speak for the city. We represent the city. Yes, we do speak for the city. We speak for the residents because they voted us in here. And then another person said we give $1 million to Quickstar for their to build here. We never gave them nothing. They come here. They took care of the infrastructure. We are giving their money back that they paid out for all the infrastructure in sales tax. They're getting a rebate on their sales tax. But as far as for us, we never put a dime in that. And I could go on with a lot of other stuff, but that's probably enough for now. And, but we're willing to talk to you about anything you want. But I think we're in better shape now. And the future looks good right now. All right. Go on.
I do think, I brought this up before, and I think we need to do a town hall meeting.
I don't care.
I think we need to do a town hall meeting, whether it's at the fire department or the school district. I think we need to get everybody in a room. It's, there are questions that can be answered, there are some that can't be, but I think we need to try and sit everybody down. Anybody is welcome, and I think we need to have some sort of town hall style meeting that we can have a back and forth. I don't know how we set it up. I don't know how much notice we need to give, but I just want to get it said that I think we should do something.
We used to do meetings of the whole. We had them, and the same 3 or 4 people came there. I had a year ago, or 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I had a coffee with the mayor down here at Confluence, and Barry, or what's his name, Randy Miller was the only guy that showed up, and we sat there and talked for 3 hours. But I'm all for that. But if we have a meeting, we have to figure out when we're going to have it, and as long as it's long as, and your meeting that you had over there at the Businessman's Hall was a great meeting. Everybody behaved, everybody talked. I mean, that's the kind of meeting we have, and we'll have one. And we'll work on one, Sonia. We'll work on one, and we'll pick a date. And it'd be nice if people, if we had one of these where you wrote your question down, and had them, where we could direct the question to the right people and that kind of stuff. But all right, well, we'll deal with that later. All right, anything else on this? Anybody else want to talk? Nope. All right, we're moving on. Okay, we'll get approval of the minutes for the regular council meeting held on November 18th, 2024. Motion, please.
So,
Second. All in favor?
I,
We're all opposed? No, not opposed. Fine, okay. We'll get approval of claim for the paid claims for November 16th through 27th, 2024.
in the amount of $350,000, $350,556.59.
So moved.
Second? We get a second, pay the bills?
Can I second it since I did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can.
second.
All right. Karen, please.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Mayor Fitzgerald?
That'll be yes. Attorney's report.
No report this
No report, so boy, we're moving right along. City administrator report, staff quarterly report.
I think we just have a couple quick things for you, Mayor. The first is I can provide a brief update on the Garden Hotel. Last meeting, we did approve the additional abatement that we kind of expected would come at some point. They are moving now and on-site doing that additional abatement, the $160,000 additional add-on that we had there. They also still have a couple of guys from Green Demo who are there on site doing the best they can to separate debris, hoping that that debris is removed. Most of it is removed this week. They can't really knock the structure down until the rest of the abatement is done. So as soon as that abatement is complete, then the structure will move quickly. They are still hoping to have the building completely knocked down by the end of the year. So that's the best update I can give you for the Garden Hotel. And then also wanted to just remind everyone that we have our annual tree lighting this week Friday. It starts at 4:30. It's at the Nature of the Confluence. It goes till about 6. The tree lighting happens at 5 o'clock sharp. Hope to see everyone there. Should be a really beautiful event. I think it's going to get a little bit warmer this week, but then maybe get a little colder again by Friday. But it doesn't matter. It has never stopped us. This will be our 4th annual. Even on the coldest, bitter, freezing of years, we still had 100 or so people show up. So I'm excited to get this thing underway. We have a big, huge, beautiful tree. Steve's crew has done a wonderful job decorating the boulevard and the mains throughout town, and they were decorating the tree today. So we're about ready. Should be a wonderful event. Our fire department will be there with hot chocolate again, as always. And and then other than that, we have some part-time and full-time positions that got posted for wastewater, but I'll let Jeff talk a little bit more about that because it's his quarterly report.
Just to start out with the numbers, flows are at averaging 1.6. Last time I gave my quarterly report, they were 2.8 million gallons a day. We had a couple of floats fail over the holidays. We replaced those. Those ran the screw pumps at the head of the treatment plant. Also had Huber in recently for 2 different pieces of equipment. First one is to make sure that when we repair the fine screens that have the damage to them in the wear, that there was no issues with the wall or any of the mounting hardware that was there, so that we don't have them come, start to install something, find a problem, and then pack up and leave and say, well, when you guys get that fixed, we'll reschedule. I don't want that to happen, because it'll probably be late winter, early spring before we see them with the repairs, which means we've had almost a year without one of the screens, and the other one's been doing double duty. The other item with Huber is we've had a flock mixer that runs a sludge press that aids in getting better quality sludge. That's been out of commission for quite a while. We pulled some new wires because we found we're having some trouble with communication to it. Found a couple of wires that were pinched, and you could feel through the coating that the wires were broke. So occasionally it works fine, then occasionally it doesn't work, and so I just pulled a new wire made to help us figure out the problem. Adam and Tyler went and participated at our wastewater short school. It's available here in Rockford. That was the end of September, last full week in September. At the end of the course, they have the opportunity to take a wastewater test with the Illinois EPA. There's 4 levels. Tyler was able to pass his first lowest level, the 4, and Adam passed his 3, the next level higher, so Adam has 2 more levels to go. I'm really proud that they did so well, and that's their first time out. That's a big deal. As you see, that I couldn't get the different division of class pass rates, but I did find out that 50% of the students that were there that took the test passed it. The other 50 failed. So, as it always has been, the pass rates are really low on most of those tests. Then in October, all of us spent a day with operator training, trying to make that a bigger thing for my employees throughout the year. And we had an opportunity that was fairly close by in Sterling Rock Falls area, where we went and spent the day, had several presentations to us. Sorry for the delay. I still want to remind everybody, since end of August, we've been short 1 full-time employee, and sometime in mid-September, we've been short a part-time employee. Full-time employee does the same thing as everybody else. That's full-time. The part-timer is more of a like yard maintenance, mowing, snow blowing, and janitorial stuff. So we have those both on Indeed and hoping to fill them soon. Of course, the holidays always make that a little more difficult. Another thing that we are involved with is Rock River Watershed. That was a group that was established to complete a NARP, which is a nutrient assessment and removal plan. We've been doing that for almost 5 years. The group as a whole, we pay into it based off of services. So everybody pays the same rate per service in. It was mandated through our permit with the Illinois EPA for the sewer plant, and that report should be completed here on the 13th, where I'll have a final draft, and then I'll go to the EPA and it'll be available. I'll try and get it so it gets on the website. There's a lot of technical information there, but there's some good information too. The biggest look is looking for phosphorus in our Rock River watershed, which includes the Kishwaukee as well. Just for an example, the group as a whole has spent $1.2 million on this plan, so it's nothing to just look away at. But we spent 5 years doing the study, and it would have been nice if it was on the backs of something other than our constituents. And the unfunded mandate as we deal with every time. We have serviced all the pumps and mixers at the treatment plant. There's almost 30 there. We found 3 that had concerns. One of them I know is a big concern. It's going to need some seals and bearings, but the other 2 we're unsure about yet, that have been taken back to get serviced or additional repairs. The rest of them were in great shape, so I think 3 out of 30 isn't too bad, considering they've been running for 3.5 years and not had anybody look at them whatsoever. Sewer system, we always get calls for service backups. We had 8 total this last quarter. Fortunately, none of them were found to be blockages in the sewer main, which we experienced that the last quarter of my report. We had a few that were blocked up in our main, but not this time. Working on some different areas for televising and hoping that we can figure our road project out so I can get cleaning and televising done of all those sewers and those roads before we get to the point where they're going out for bid for if they need attention that we get that done. Forest Park and Shaw, the sewer is just about complete. There's only a couple of things to tidy up, some testing on the installation. We usually let them sit for 30 days before we start looking at them to see if there's any problems or whatnot. So they'll be doing that here soon. The rest of the project is 90% complete. There's final restoration that needs to be done. That typically needs to be done by October 15th. They were still doing a lot of work then, so they'll have to come back in the spring, and that's basically making sure the dirt's settled, that the seeding is growing, adding more seed to it. If there's erosion that's taking place, adding the erosion blanket and taking care of that as well. And then we've been working with the residents on securing a new location for the new lift station 1, and we're getting very close to being in agreement with what she was looking for. And that's pretty much it. Any questions? I can answer anything you may have about sewer plant or sewer lines.
Any guess on why our gallons per day are down?
So when I gave my report, it was the beginning of September. We had some rains in August. So I was reporting what the highest and what we were experiencing. The quarterly report I gave in the spring, we were about the same place we are now. It's just because we've been dry. Dry meaning we see a lot of groundwater come in, but sometimes we get groundwater from people who have sump pumps running. So it's an illegal connection for people with sump pumps to do that. It's harder to catch. We do have a lot of area throughout the old part of South Beloit that wet basements, and when those sump pumps are running, I suspect we see quite a bit of being illegally pumped to the sewer system. But you do see a lot of others pumping out to the street too. So I suspect that's the full reason. We did do a huge lining and repair project and replacement project over the probably 8 years ago. Made a big difference for a while and then didn't seem to make as much afterwards. So it fluctuates a lot, but to a lot of the treatment plants, because most of the infrastructure is so old, it does fluctuate at most of the others.
Anybody else?
You meant Forest Park and Hayes, right?
Yes, sorry, Forest Park and Hayes, correct. Thank you, Brian.
Anybody else? All right.
Very good.
Thank
Yeah, tell your men congratulations on their.
you. Do that.
We'll do discussion and motion items. A, approve ordinance 2827, approving a zoning variance for a two-family residential zoning district R2A from the required front yard setback of 15 feet down to 5 feet for the property located at 539 Roscoe Avenue, South Beloit, Illinois, Winnebago County, PIN number 0405-305-001. It's a property right behind here, and I see they give a positive, or ZBA give a positive recommendation. We get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
So this is a property that has a real unique setup. As you can see by the winches, the property, part of both structures, the garage and the main structure of the house, are built into the right-of-way. The property owners had a front porch that was there when they purchased the home. Due to some wear and tear, they needed to replace it. They received a notice of violation. They came in and filled out the applications. That was then noted that the home does not meet the proper requirements for a setback for the front yard. They sought a variance for the variance to go down to the 5 feet. After removing the portion of the porch, there were cement stairs underneath that were existing to the property. the original property. We have to assume back when the property was constructed that it followed all of the building requirements at that time and met the required setbacks, but we don't have the paperwork to show what that was at that time. The stairs will need to have some repair work to them as they're cracking due to the wear and tear. So that's the reason for the variance at the 5 feet setback.
This is where Northwestern and Roscoe Avenue come together.
Yep.
And the property's odd shaped and everything else, so but we're positive recommendation to 5 feet.
Yep. They'll need to put they'll need to do some repairs to the cement stairs that are there and then put a railing on it. So that's the ask.
Anybody else? Karen,
Commissioner
please.
Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, approve ordinance 2828 adopting the 2025 budget. What's that, $4,681,828. Is that right, Don?
What was that number?
$4,681,000?
For the general fund only?
I don't know.
What number would you like, Don?
Well,
Pick a number, Don.
the total for all funds is $20,039,450.
So we're passing this all at once then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So moved.
Second.
You want to say anything? Karen?
Commissioner Prentice? Commissioner?
Ready? Okay. Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes. Approve ordinance 2829 adopting the 2024 tax levy. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Who wants to explain this? This is what's,
The total tax levy is $1,857,000. That's up $77,000 from a year ago, and it includes a library of $297,000. And basically, that's within the tax cap requirements, and basically it's an increase based upon the cost of living.
Karen?
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes. Approve ordinance 2830 establishing a 2025 meeting schedule for the 2025 holiday schedule. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Pretty self-explanatory, I guess. Just getting our schedule for next year.
Nothing new there, yes, no new holidays, not out of the ordinary.
And try to add another holiday to it. Okay. All right, Karen.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, approve resolution 6573 approving the release of continued hold of executive session minutes and destruction of the executive session audio. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
This is what we discussed at the last meeting. And,
Correct.
And we went through everything and what's personal, we got to
Yep.
redact. Okay. Anybody? Karen, please.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, approve resolution 6574 approving agreement for services with municipal code enforcement. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
You want to explain this one?
I can, if you'd like me to.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor. This is a contract for additional assistance as it relates to code enforcement. I know that Sonia and Shauna have met a couple of times with municipal code enforcement. The rate would be $49 per hour. at an amount not to exceed 10 hours per week. This would be for someone to come and provide some additional document services for us for notices of code violations. The term of the contract would begin on January 1st, 2025, and would end December 31st, 2025. There is an auto renewal clause, but it does have a 60-day termination provision, just a year-to-year auto renewal clause. The agreement has been reviewed by our office, and it's legally sufficient.
Mayor, I can add that we actually have Allison here tonight. We have met with her multiple times. The last meeting, we actually included the mayor and an attorney from our legal team. Shauna can speak a little bit more about the references that she did follow up on for the request of the board. But I will just add that Shauna has really not been able to settle into her role as a community development director because this code position is so difficult to fill, to train, and to keep. And so we have just really struggled in the last 2.5 years to find qualified people, to keep them, to train them. It just, even in a part-time or a full-time capacity now, we just really need some consistency. So the way that we budgeted this is that if our needs should change, we'll always have a little bit of ebb and flow. So we budgeted to find a full-time person. If we don't, we wouldn't use both. We would use kind of one or the other. But the idea here is to use municipal code services for just a little bit, and also, Shauna. No, this is no slam because I am too, but Shauna and I are very kind of self-taught in a role where we didn't have anyone to learn from and how to do this job that we're in right now. And so I think that having an outside entity like Municipal Code Services come in-house and help Shauna and help our part-time code enforcement officer and sort of just show her how it's done in other places will be extremely valuable to our community development office. And Allison is here if anybody has any questions, and Shauna can comment on references if needed.
Go ahead,
And
John.
we've done a good
Run
job.
with it, Shauna, go.
Everybody that I spoke to spoke nothing but excellent things. That one place has had Allison in her services for the last 4 years, never had so much as one bad thing to say. So I was extremely delighted to hear that. Everything that I have spoken with Allison about has been refreshing and has eased my mind, which isn't easy to do. So I feel very confident. And like Sonia said, in those areas that we just need a little more consistency, I think that's going to help tremendously.
I think I asked you to just get some some recommendations from other people. That would, that way we're doing our due diligence to make sure that we're getting the services that we're paying for. But, yeah, okay. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you very much. I hopefully look forward to working with all of you.
All right.
Just need a roll call vote.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Mayor Fitzgerald?
That'll be a yes. Okay, approve resolutions. Welcome aboard, Allison.
Thank you.
Approve resolution 6575, approve an agreement with McMahon Engineering to complete survey work to the vacate of list of alleyways. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Second. Okay, Shauna, this yours?
This was the alley work that we discussed quite some time ago. Brandon's time is really being used up, so McMahon is going to complete this work. They have everything, and I think we're ready to go.
I have one question. I was looking through here and checking these alleyways down along Hayes there, and if we get rid of these 2 alleyways or give them to the people that are there, does that landlock the people behind there? There's
No, Liston Avenue is still in the, and I think it's the 1400 block of Hayes, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't have it in front of me. But
yeah, 1412 is one of the alleyways.
So
and the other.
the parcel behind there would be landlocked if we vacated that area of Liston that goes down there. We're not doing that one. We decided against that because it would landlock, and we didn't want to we did not want to vacate Liston and then create an easement, so we're just
Right.
not vacating Liston.
But that property on 1508, that's not landlocked. I mean, I'm looking at the property on the map, and I was just wondering that, as long as we don't landlock the property,
Yeah,
because
as
that's,
long as Liston is there, there's access to that back property.
Okay.
And 1408, 1412, I think it is, and the back parcel, all are owned by the same two people, all three parcels, so right now it's not a problem. However, if any of those parcels are sold in the future, then it becomes a potential issue. So it was just easier not to
not to
vacate
do it.
that section of Liston.
All right. Anybody else? Karen, please?
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Commissioner Heatherington? Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes. Okay, item H, approve authorizing city administrator to draft and send termination letters to the Mercy for Services. Let's get a second.
Second.
All right, you gonna explain this?
Yeah, I can mention this, or I can try to brief this one. We're hoping that February 1, the Winnebago County Dispatch Center is ready and willing to start this contract. So part of that process is to have our board approve the agreement with Winnebago County, and then it will go to the county for final approval. So we wanted to get a little bit of a jump on it. Though we'll have the Mercy termination letter drafted, I probably won't send that until about January 1. We want to make sure that the county board approves this as well, but certainly want to put our dominoes on the table and start getting them lined up. This is going to be a huge improvement for our response time, for the efficiency of the county's dispatch to have police and fire under one umbrella, and also should be very cost effective. So all the right things are happening. Still some discussion on ironing out. Though it calls out in the agreement that the county will be responsible for all of the equipment, we just purchased CAD equipment, we just purchased radios. I mean, there's some discussion to be still ironed out there with the county, but for now, it's carved out in the agreement that they will be responsible for all of that, so we'll see if there's any amendments to that agreement, but we would like to get it in front of the county board so that they can get this approved. And this is another one of those hot ticket items when it comes to ISO ratings. When we got our last ISO rating for 2024, it improved drastically from the previous. Dispatch, there are items that are worth 1 or 2 points, there are items that are worth 50, and the dispatch is a huge amount of points in the ISO rating, so getting this dispatch matter cleaned up is going to be tremendous for our fire department especially. Right now, there's a lot of times that we get a call, and then as soon as we say that we're responding on the call, they sort of lose connection with dispatch, they don't get any more updates, and that's probably the biggest thing that, that our fire chiefs are looking forward to getting cleaned up is we need continuous updates when we're on our way to a call. Things.
That's the new Winnebago Center?
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, they combined their center down there.
It's a
Anybody
very
else?
good relationship, a long time coming.
Yeah, I know,
Working
it's
on it.
been quite a few years now.
Yeah.
They've been working on that down there. Anybody else? Karen, please?
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Edelman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, approve resolution 6576, approving the intergovernmental agreement with Winnebago County and Fire Dispatch. But this,
They go hand in hand.
yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, motion, please?
So moved.
Just a minute.
Second.
Mayor, just a couple things on this. This is a draft, so what you have in your packet is the red line draft of the agreement, and this is after our office reviewed the proposed agreement. I don't believe that fire has had an opportunity yet to transmit this to county, or that county has agreed to the revisions. Also, you do not have a resolution in the packet. We did not get that done in time for the meeting today. So I just would be a little hesitant about having the council approve the agreement unless we knew from Winnebago County that they were going to agree to the changes.
Lay this over to
I'll make a motion that we lay over resolution 6576 to the meeting on December 16th.
Thank you. And then hopefully by then,
Yeah.
we'll know whether or not they're in agreement with these changes. Most of them are pretty stylistic. we'll also make sure that a resolution is prepared by that date.
Second?
Second.
All right. Anybody else? Karen, please.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Ableman? Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, approve resolution 6577, approving interagency agreement with the Youth Service Network, Inc. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
This is just
Chief?
an annual agreement we have with YSN to help our youth in South Beloit with anything from homelessness to pregnancy to drugs. We use them probably a couple times a month, but it's free to the city and it's a good partnership.
Anybody else? Okay. Karen, please.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Ableman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes, approve the Federal Bureau of Investigation Criminal Justice Information Services Security Addendum. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Chief?
This is part of an audit that we're going through. They just wanted this addendum signed between the city and Entree, I believe, since we contacted them for our computer services.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering about, the computer stuff. Anybody else? Okay, Karen, please.
Commissioner Prentice?
Yes.
Commissioner Ableman? Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes. I don't know how this got back on here, but we'll discuss it. Discussion of regarding the feather flags. That's the, I thought we went through this more than once, but
We did, and we did have a discussion and some changes to the zoning code. Since then, there have been some other issues that have come up, and so it was my suggestion that this be placed on as a discussion item.
what issues?
So, these are the flags that Courtney's got photos of them, but, we're having issues with enforcement for these flags. So, the rules, the ordinance states that they have to be brought in every night. They have to be approved. There's an application process. It's an annual application. It has to be approved. The issue is the main area we're seeing these is Prairie Hill Road and then Black Hawk and Gardner. As you know, Black Hawk and Gardner does not have green space in order to plant these. So they have to be within the right of way on any lot that they're on. So it's very difficult for them to have, for the property owners and the business owners to have compliance with these flags. So they're very rarely ever in compliance when they do get permits for them, if they have permits. So, like I said, the enforcement is a real issue. I'm looking to see, are these items that we want to continue to allow in South Beloit? If you drive through Beloit, their downtown area is much the same as ours. It's a lot of blacktop and cement. They don't allow these. You go through Rockton, same thing. You don't see these there either. In the downtown areas.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're spending a lot of staff time on these, is the issue. That, under the current rules, they're supposed to be brought in after a certain amount of time. They're not supposed to be up year round.
6 weeks on
They're
a new
up year
business.
round. They're up year round. No one is paying any attention to the rules. They're constantly being placed in the right of way. They just are, honestly, they are a drain on staff time, as opposed to, I think creating any, buzz for a business and attracting customers. We're having to spend far more time than it's really worth to work on enforcement, because if they aren't following the rules, then pursuant to the code, notices of violation are supposed to be sent, and then summonses for administrative hearing for them to then just take them down, right, potentially. And then a week or so later, they're putting them right back up again in the right of way where they're not supposed to be. So we wanted to talk to the council to see if there would be any willingness to just consider a complete prohibition. We certainly have no shortage of signage on Black Hawk and Gardner as it relates to our local businesses. There is an abundance of signage at the corner, down Gardner. I just, think that we're having to spend a significant amount of time on something that, I don't know has the added benefit that maybe it initially did when these flags were first put
Well, when
up.
this first came to the council a couple years ago, I remember we sat down and we talked about it. And any new business trying to bring, people in that they didn't know was, I remember when the taco place up here, when they first opened up, they had a couple flags up there, come on, show. And I see their usefulness that way. Now, I don't know, and then I know we put it in there, we had discussed this, that it would be 6 weeks, and then we take them down. Wasn't that it? Or am I wrong?
I don't recall what the ordinance used to be with them. I know now, once they're permitted, they can be placed out there daily and be brought in. They cannot stay out there if they're tattered, but there is an annual permit for these.
An issue that we're having is no one is getting the permit. So then when we send the notice of violation, then they want to get a permit, but they want to keep them in the right of way, which is where they can't be. So then if they can't put them in the right of way, it's where can they put them, right? Really the only properties in the city that could have them on property and not in the right of way would be Prairie Hill Road. And so if we, continue to allow them, you're basically only then having businesses along Prairie Hill Road that can have them, as opposed to businesses on Gardner and Blackhawk because of the businesses being so close to the right of way as it is. It's just, and they look like sign clutter at this point because they're, every couple streets.
I remember we sat and talked about the intent of the law. The intent of the law was to allow people to have this opportunity to bring customers into their new business, and that's what the discussion was. And to me, it doesn't matter, but the thing of it is when somebody opens a new business,
Mayor, the smoke shop has been open for the last 15 years.
All right, so
And they have one.
Let me play devil's advocate for a minute, because the two examples I have are Prairie Hill Road and the smoke shop on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So the smoke shop on the corner, as I look at these pictures, so because of where their building sits and the sidewalk, they're in the right of way.
They are in the right.
So if I own that building and we decide to change this, could I put a flag on the front of my building and have some sort of a banner made that looks like a flag?
Probably not, only because of the amount of the signage that's already on the building right now.
So many square
Remember,
footage.
there's so much
So
square footage that you're
a
allowed.
flag would,
It would go
Yeah.
towards the total square footage of the
Yes.
signage that's allowed. So more than likely, if they wanted to do that, they would have to remove some sort of signage that they already have. Because if you look at the smoke shop in those pictures,
Yeah.
they not only have lighted letter signs on the building, they have literally every window covered with some sort of signage.
I understand that, but as my devil's advocate point here, if somebody was hanging an American flag in front of that smoke shop, nobody's going to say a word.
It's not an advertisement, right?
Okay. But if that flag has the wording on it, that's the
This
issue.
is commercial business signage only that we're
Okay.
talking about
So
in
that's
terms
the
of
issue.
flags.
Okay.
We're not addressing someone's,
It's not, yeah.
national,
It's
national
distinguished.
flag or
Okay,
anything like
again,
that.
like I said, I'm just,
These are just the banners that are,
These are
flapping in the wind
flags.
saying,
Yep, and I
smoke
get it.
shop here.
so let's say we go to Prairie Hill Road, now in front of the plaza, and this example, we have all these flags out there across from the high school.
And every single one of those are in the right of way.
In the right of way.
So, again, if I own that plaza and I back it out of the right of way, it would have to fall under our sign ordinance. If I had said, okay, I'm going to pour a 10-foot concrete pad and I'm going to allow my businesses to put flags in there, that would then fall under the sign ordinance?
Yes,
Which we probably have an issue with these flags in our sign ordinance.
yes, that's where they're at right now.
But see, didn't this start over that guy that had that kids thing in the industrial park? That,
Coral Cove.
Coral Cove. Didn't they bring the signs out and then we made them take it back because there were flags, and then we discussed that for I don't know how long, and then we decided, well, we'll do this. I don't mind doing this stuff, I just don't like doing it twice. We pass something and a year from that, and then somebody changes their mind, and we gotta go through this again. I understand, but I understand that our staff has a lot, just to get rid of a sign, it takes a lot. But it just, to me, it's a lot of wasted time too.
So there's a question for discussion, and that is, and we really probably just need a straw poll, okay? Straw poll, option 1 would be that we amend the sign ordinance and just get rid of these banners that are, being used because they're not being used in accordance with the ordinances. Option 2 would be to amend the sign ordinance such that there's a very specific front yard side backs spelled out in the code, but what will ultimately end up happening is we will still be sending notices of violation because folks are not bringing them in the evenings like they're supposed to. They're not repairing them once they become tattered. But again, we could do that. You could still allow them. We'll set up some identified front yard, side yard setbacks so the setbacks are clear, and then they would still be allowed. So those are the two options that we just need some feedback on this evening. That's it. That's the only
Mayor,
question.
I know, I can add, I know you think that we're repeating something we already did, but really we didn't. Because
No.
in the previous code, there were very specific setbacks. In the new code, I think somewhere it just kind of got wasn't the intent to not have these in front yards. So there's no specifications on front yards in our new code. The thing is, if we go back and tailor all of these specifications, all of the people with the signs, with very few exceptions, maybe the Prairie Hill people can figure it out, but the businesses on Blackhawk and Gardner can't meet those specifications. There's no right-of-way room for them on the front of their property. So we're going to go back and tweak it so that, okay, if you meet this setback in your front yard, in the right-of-way, you can have the signs. And all the people who have permits sitting in Shauna's box right now are going to be ticked off because they still can't get the permit to have the sign that they want. So that's really the battle, is we can try to massage the language, or do we just direct them, hey, look, we're not really using these signs right, and they're not attractive in our downtown, and they don't fit our downtown scheme, and you don't have right-of-way space in our downtown area anyway, let's just not have them. Is that the better route to take to avoid confusion of businesses who think, okay, good, they're working on it, I'm going to get my sign. Oh, yeah, we worked on it, you're still not getting your sign. That's where we're going to be. I'm sorry.
Well, I just don't like how all of a sudden it's okay to have signs and then right away and then we're done. Oh, hey, wait a minute, we changed our mind.
But nope.
I know,
that's not it.
I know,
That's not
but
it
you
at
said,
all.
I know, but it looks like that.
I get it. but
It looks like that,
That is
and
not it, Mayor. Just to be
perception.
clear, that's not it. There were always these regulations. They are just never being followed.
Well, I
They
remember
were in
when-
the-
I remember-
They were in the code even before the new zoning code.
It's the issue that we run into consistently, that we have individuals, and I don't care how you draw it up the directions, are not going to follow the ordinance properly, and everybody else ends up having to pay for it. And it's unfortunate because we do spend way too much time with our people out trying to enforce laws, and these people are laughing at the law. Personally, I think we just do away with them, and our people don't have to deal with that.
Well, we're not voting on it tonight anyway.
I'm
We're just asking for
throwing
feedback.
my 2 cents out.
We're just asking for
What do you
feedback.
think, Brian? Get rid
We
of
already
them.
got signage.
All right. Courtney?
ZBA?
I don't know what I think yet. I was not around for this discussion last time it happened. It
Well,
was before my time.
and we're-
I will tell you, I'm 60-40 to get rid of it, but I'm still playing it through in my brain.
Why don't we do this then? It does sound like there's at least somewhat of a consensus at this meeting. I'll draft the ordinance. We can put it on an agenda probably in January because it'll have to run through the paces first and go through Planning and Zoning Commission. And then the council can revisit it.
I'm not against getting rid of it. I'm against the way we're handling this all the time. And that's what I'm against. I mean, when they sat right here and everybody says, hey, well, I'm going to start a new business. I want people to come in. I want to bring their attention to it.
Starting business.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what it was. That's all I've ever
Right.
said about it.
If someone puts up a banner, flag for a new business, we don't have the staff to be able to get to them in enough time to say you can't have that. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about banners that have been up for years. Years.
All right. Well, Ryan will be back. We'll let him do some talking next time, but make,
It's just unfortunate that we do this time and time again, that we have to deal with these ordinances because people refuse to comply with a simple ordinance, and everybody pays for it.
yeah, all right. I understand. But,
We got the consensus we
Yeah.
needed. Thank you for that. Thank
I'm
you.
not against it. Don't make it sound like I'm against it. I'm not. I'm just saying, yeah. All right, let's, that was our, done of our discussion there, I guess.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
That sounds good. How about a second? All in favor? We're adjourned.
You need to stick around.
Yeah.
You need to stick around.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to talk to you about a personnel issue.
Absolutely.
They're going to stick around.